we've got a bit of a change of location. But today I'm going to give you some exercises to help fire up your fascia. Okay, so the article that I've written that's associated with this is about fascia and how to make yourself an easier load for your horse. And getting good fascia function is really important part of that. So today I'm going to show you just a few exercises to give you some ideas about what you can do to help become an easier load for your horse. So we're going to start standing. I've got some weights here. They're just little 1 kilo weights because remember, it's the fascia we're focusing on, not the actual muscle body. So these are just good to connect and help increase the activity and the function, the elasticity of the fascia. So you're welcome to get some weights. If you don't have the weights, don't worry. You can get some cans of beans or nothing at all, and we'll play with a few ideas. So for this, we're going to start standing up. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is just rock forward and back on your feet, from toe to heel, just waking up that fascia in your feet. Because a lot of people get plantar fasciitis, which is not fun for anyone, so you want to get this moving. Sometimes a cure, sometimes wearing different heeled shoes, including bare feet, walking on different surfaces, slightly different heights of heels on your shoes can help fascia as well. They're just some ideas if you have problems down there. Okay, we're really trying to play originally, to start with the range of movement. Okay, so we're playing with the range, and then we're going to go from one foot to the other, and now I just want you to add a little bit more of a dynamic movement to it. Still rocking the whole length, but you're still just getting a bit more dynamic. So now we add the activity and the bounce and the elasticity. Do you remember back in the 80s when the aerobics was all like bounce, 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 and then it became, oh no, you can't bounce anymore, it's really bad for you, and now kind of bouncing's back in. But be careful. So all the other principles still apply with Pilates, the engagement through here, the awareness of the core area, and playing it safe. If you have any issues with your body, you probably want someone to help you or watch you, a professional. This is just to give you some ideas, okay? And we're getting bounce through that. So now we take the feet wider, and we're going to go side to side, just side to side. All right, just leaning into one foot, playing with the range, keeping your body fairly upright as you do it, and pushing, keeping the knee folding forward over the ankle as you go forward. Okay, and then we're going to lift opposite heel off the ground, really fell over. Bit of a laugh for everyone. And we're just going from side to side now. So again, we're getting a little bit more elasticity through the movement and warming everything up. Yeah, you can add the arms. I was just doing that for fun anyway, but hey, join the arms in if you want. So we're just getting everything warmed up and getting some the elasticity into the fascia. Okay, keep yourself thinking tall, up, 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 and not collapsing down, down, down. Keep that tone through your body. Now, remember in the article we're talking about tensegrity, so think about that as you're doing these exercises. Okay, then we're going to stand. I don't know, my arms might be out of frame with this, but you get the idea. I'm standing like a big star or a big X. Okay, and now I'm going to reach down and touch. Try to touch one hand to the opposite foot and come back up. So I'm breathing out, breathing in to go big. So I'm playing with the range smoothly with good control to start with. Okay, don't hurt yourself. Remember, we're pivoting around this section of the body. There's still support there. We're not just flopping our upper body down and over and putting strain on our back. You want to be careful of that. So now we're going to make it a bit more dynamic. We're going to go a little bounce, 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 recoil. Bounce, 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 and up. And down, 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 and up. And reach, bounce, bounce. Little tiny bounces, okay? Nothing big, nothing harsh. You're still supporting through this part of your body. And up. And relax. Now we're going to go into some lunges. For that, I'm going to grab my weights. Okay, now I've got some hand weights and we're going to go into our lunges. So I'm going to take the weights above my head, hopefully they'll stay in frame. I've got a lot of room, I'm afraid. And we're just going to lunge forward and back up. So you're letting that pelvis go down to the ground and push off. The back toes stay on the ground obviously the whole time, but the heel can come off. If you feel like that's a little bit strong on your shoulders to have your arms up with weights, or you find your shoulders kind of visiting your ears a bit too much, or you don't have the best shoulder function, you can just keep your arms by your side and back up, down, lunging down and back up, or you might want to do it without the weights. Either is fine. So breathing in, breathing out. Again, we still have awareness of this part of our body controlling and supporting us. And back up. And I want you to do a little push off that foot. A little push off that foot. Okay, and then you might little bounce down there and up. And a little bounce, bounce, bounce and up. It's not big, you're not straining anything. You're just trying to get some elasticity through your body. Down, down, down and up. And bounce, bounce, bounce and up. Down, down, down and up. And take up space. We're playing with the range of movement. So feel like you're wide and you're taking up a good lot of space. Okay? We're taking both arms up to the ceiling and rotating the body. It's as if you want trying to reach something up and behind you with both arms. So we're reaching up and internally rotating the opposite foot. So we're reaching up, feet go parallel again, body goes back to center. Reaching up, back to center, reaching, back to center. If that's too much, just do it with one arm. So we're reaching back to center. This is just a little variation if you would prefer. And then, once you've done an even number both sides, we're going to add a little dip in between and reach. Dip in between and reach it up. And spring a little bit. The toes stay on the ground, but there's still a little bit of a spring through your body as you reach into the rotation. Okay? The arms stay shoulder height, preferably. The elbows are straight. Your knees bend over your ankles as you do it. And back, down, and back, down, and back, and relax. The next one is a bit of lateral flexion. So quite a lot when I teach Pilates, a warm-up exercise I use is this one, which is really lovely to lengthen that whole side of your body. This one is a little bit different in that I want you to have both arms up and push the hips to the opposite direction to the arms and back to center. If that's too strong, you can just do one arm and push the hip out. You can do it with or without the weights. I'm going to do this version. Push the hips to the opposite side and back to center. Breathing in, breathing out. Remember our core, it's a dynamic core, intra-abdominal pressure, so the breathing is very important. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Then we make it a little bit more dynamic. And out. So you can over, back to center. Over, but with control. Don't go too crazy that you hurt yourself. Also don't take such lateral flexion that you're, oh my gosh, I'm straining my back and my sides. So we want control. You know your body, honor your body, and meet it where it is right now. And center and across and relax. Okay, so now the next exercise we're going to do in 4-point kneeling. Okay, so we're in this position. I've got one weight for this because we're only going to do one arm at a time. So when we start, to set ourselves up, I want the knees under your hips and your hands under your shoulders. Okay, and what we're going to do, we're just going to start with that weight to the side of us, and we're going to use it as a bit of a prop to help us roll. So first of all, we're going to look for a bit of range of movement. Just move that back. So a bit of range of movement. So we're going to go out and back in. So we're playing with range, we're keeping the hips stacked over the knees, and we're playing with reaching and how far we can go. We're taking up space This is still supporting the back. Whoop, nearly lost my weight. For this one, my palm is facing to the ceiling, okay? And back up. Then we're going to lift the weight, and we're going to do little lifts, lifts, lifts. Don't be too rotated for this one. I want you to be a little bit squarer with your back nice and long, and you're doing little lifts, little tiny, tiny micro bounces. It's not big. Remember, it's not muscle, it's fascia is our focus. It's the focus. Then we change the angle, because remember the angle change helps to restructure the fascia and it doesn't get stuck. So we like to change the angle of things so the fascia has to work. It's like a 3D structure, so we need to play with different angles with it. Okay, so then we're going to take the arm wide. I'm going to show you this way so you can see the arm. So we've just done these ones, lift, lift, lifts, and then we're taking that arm wide and we're doing the little bounces this way. Keep breathing. Who would have known that 1 kilo weight could be so heavy? And move the angle. So I've just taken my arm a little bit further back, and now I'm going to take a little bit further forward of my shoulder. Lift, lift, little, 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 and back to center. And then you can repeat it on the other side. So maybe I'll show you the other arm from this angle, just to keep life interesting. So we're rolling that out. I'm looking for range and coming back in. Oops, bangle is in the way. Out and then back to center. Okay? I'll just do a few. I could have that hand in better alignment, couldn't I? Yes. Okay, now I pick this weight up. I don't have quite so much rotation in the body now. I'm just lifting, 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 little micro lifts. Try not to drop your sternum down to the ground and let your shoulders reach up to the ceiling. You want to have that sternum lifting, basically the front of your body lifting up into your spine to support it. And we're doing little lift, 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 lift. And then I'm going to move that arm a little bit further forward. And then I'm going to move it a little bit further back. Keeping the shoulders down my back, keeping my sternum lifting up to keep my shoulder blades nice and wide against my back and flush to my ribs. Okay, and then we come forward. Now I'm taking the arm long. So when you take that arm long, try not to lean over to the other direction for stability. You want to be creating stability through the side of your body. So don't lean past that hand and that knee as you do it. So we're just doing little bounce, bounce. Building up I was going to say electricity. Well, to be fair, there is electricity. There is electricity in fascia, so it was not entirely wrong, but I meant to say elasticity. But we'll go with electricity too, yeah? Let's be electric. Okay, bounce, bounce, bounce. And then relax it down. The next thing we're going to go into is cat stretch to play with that range of movement through our body now. So we're in this position. Again, check your alignment. Are your hands under your shoulders? Are your knees under your hips? And we're just rolling that spine up and down. Now we're playing with the range. Up, down. And you can play with the foot position. You might want to have your toes tucked under for some. Then you might want your feet, the top of your foot flat for a few others. Play with the body, you know, see what's comfortable, what's not, where you can go, where you would like to go but can't quite make it there yet. And the whole time you're breathing. And back into a neutral position. Okay, so now we're going to go into a supine position, so lying on our back. And we're first going to play with just a little bit of stretch through the back of the neck. Okay, so you can take your hands here and you might literally just feel yourself run your hands up your neck and just stretch and feel like you want that line of fascia and muscle and tissue to follow your hand and lengthen, and then take it to the side a little bit, and then you can take it to the other side. I hope I'm not too far away that you can see this. Okay, and then we're just playing with this but it's more about, am I creating length through this part of my body? It's just preparing us for what's coming next, which is double leg stretch. Okay, we're getting this working, engaging, and then lengthening through all this line here between the shoulders and the neck. So for the next exercise, we're going to do scissor legs. Da-da, da-da. So we're going to start long first. So I want you to stretch the back of the knee as much as you can. My elbows are wide, okay? I'm pulling my chest to my knee as much as I'm pulling my leg to my chest a little bit. So we're in this position. Only bring your leg back as far as you can keep it straight. This is not what we're after. We want that length. So that's your homework if you can't get there. The shoulders stay down. And then we play with the other one. Can we get this long? Can we make long lines and take up space? Keep the chest wide. Keep the neck long. And we'll do a few like this. Keep the breathing happening. Keep the chest lifting. Keep the back of the body long. And then we have a little bit of a bounce in there, because remember, we're building elasticity. We're activating, we're building energy into the fascia. If that's too strong for you, you can take your head and neck to the ground. You don't want to be straining that, so you might want to do that, keeping your head and neck to the ground. Or else you might just do little ones here and not catch it with your hands if you feel like you can't reach, that's too far to go. So there's a few variations, but that's the main exercise I want you to do. And then we kind of turn that. Remember, we want to play with angles so we can create some oblique work. The elbow stays wide, and I'm reaching and I'm just changing the angle through my body so there's some rotation, because spiral lines are very important in the body. It's how the body works with spirals. And especially the fascia loves it. So we're doing some spirals here. And then we're relaxing. The last exercise I want to do with you is a bit of a mermaid. Okay, so you can either sit, if you go to the end of the mat you're on, and sit on your heels and drop your pelvis over to the long side of the mat, or if that's a bit tricky, you can sit with Z sits, so one leg in front, the other leg down your side, or you can sit cross-legged, no problem, okay? So I think I'm going to sit like this. That's my mermaid of choice, which is kind of more the classic style. So first of all, we're going to reach this way. A little bit different. I'm in Pilates mode. I've got to go into fascia mode. So we're going to stretch over. And then we're going to rotate down. Again, this is playing with space, playing with range of movement. This elbow's bent. Then I straighten this elbow as I come back into a lateral flexion. And then I come back up. Then I'm stretching the other way towards the direction my legs are folded. And I'm bouncing, recoiling. So that action is a little quicker, within reason. Again, don't hurt yourself. Be sensible. You're an adult. You know how to act. I hope. Over, know your body, right? And then you can rotate it forward. Remember rotation, we love spirals and rotation for the fascia. Back into lateral flexion, up, and then a little bit more dynamic. And then again, lateral flexion, rotation, back up. We're playing with the range, and then we play with the dynamic side of it. And then we switch sides. Da-da. See how easy it is? Okay, so now we're going to the long side. I could go a little bit further over there. We're going to the long side first, and we're bending that elbow, reaching. Then we go into rotation. The shoulder stays down your back. It's not up there visiting the ear. Back into lateral flexion, then over, and make it a little bit dynamic with the recoil. Over, rotate. Back into, eating my hair. Lateral flexion. I'm so professional, aren't I? And quick. One more. Over. Rotate. Back into lateral flexion. and a quick recoil. So be careful here, don't just throw yourself around. Really do one step, the next step, undo that step, undo that step. Don't just merge it all into one mishmash. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. It just gives you a little bit of idea of what we're looking at with the fascia, how it operates and some of the things that can help it. And hopefully it will also help your riding.